Right. Just to let you know, chaps, at some point, Sandy from the library may be joining us. Okay. So, can we try and keep our comments as politically correct as possible?
While we're assembling, Jonathan, I've got something for you on Coventry that unfortunately I've only got half the story, but I was listening to Radio 4 early Saturday morning, 6 o'clock-ish, and Claire Balding does these walks and she interviews people, and she was doing a Coventry walk, and she got to a point where they went up a very, very steep hill and they had to hang on to a mud pipe. It was really precarious. When they got to it, the view they got was something to do with Henry Bolingbroke and Richard II and Mowbray, which I think Bolingbroke tried to seize the crown of Richard II and eventually did. Then when Richard II came back from Ireland, got the crown back and banished him, and that started the War of the Roses.
Really, it was there, yes, yeah.
The most vital piece of information is where the hell in Coventry was it? I haven't a clue.
I've no idea. No, and she didn't disclose exactly where she was then.
Yeah.
She probably did, but I was half asleep.
And another bit of Coventry miscellany, Jonathan.
Yeah.
I was born in quite a rough area of Sheffield, as you can tell, Woodthorpe, and in 1959-60, a new church was built at the top of our road, about 100 yards away from where I live, and it was designed by Sir Basil Spence.
Oh, right, yes.
Who obviously designed Coventry Cathedral.
Yeah. There was a very good programme the other day about Coventry Cathedral and how it was conceived and built and developed, and as part of the City of Culture celebrations. And it's very good. And there was an interview with Spence from years ago, and it was interesting.
I remember the documentary in the it would have been the mid-50s on TV when
it's all on mute. I can't hear what anybody's saying.
No, that's right. I think they showed bits.
What do you recommend?
Yeah.
I recommend coming out and coming back in.
I'll leave and then come back.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
I had that last week, lol. 2 weeks ago, you couldn't get anybody. You could hear people, but you couldn't get people to hear you. So go out and come back in again.
Hello.
Yeah.
Which one did you do?
Sorry.
Is it two?
Hey?
Is it two?
Yeah.
Must be that one then. Oh, it's gone up now. That's I can see it. That's it. Nobody talking about it.
We can hear you.
Going back to your point.
How long have we been doing this Zoom and we still have troubles?
Keith, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yep, right.
I'm trying to adjust my volume, that's all.
All right, okay.
John, going back to your point, to Jonathan.
Yeah.
The more you dig, the more you realise this little island of ours is steeped in history. You just turn a corner.
Yeah.
What may be an insignificant piece of landscape is in actual fact steeped in history. Sheffield in particular.
I watched a really old film on Talking Pictures yesterday. Called This England, made around about 1941, I think, and it was about a village. It was started off during World War II, and it took you back to what the village was like in 1066.
Yeah.
And the Wars of the Roses, the Napoleon, World War I, just tracing the village through those periods and how the villagers responded to what was happening around them.
Well, when
it was pure jingoism, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
When I prattle on about Cranwell and the college and blah blah, That's Cranwell or Cranewell is mentioned in the Doomsday Book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you all mentioned in the Doomsday Book, Ian?
Sorry?
Are you all mentioned in that?
No, I wrote it, son.
Ah,
I'm the Doom.
He
We're
put the
doomed.
doom in
you
Doomsday.
put the Doom.
Oh, it's got to go. Frozen again.
Keith,
Oh, no, it's
Yes.
well, I've seen that three
Dean
times.
Henderson's
Which
with
button
both
did you press
England.
to turn it down?
You
Well,
what,
well,
sorry?
you did, I think. That's it.
Henderson's
Well, it's come back
withdrawn.
loud again.
With Sean, he's got an hip
You can
injury.
see a line at the bottom when
Right.
Just
when
come
you
up
do
on screen.
Which Henderson?
Dickie
United's
Henderson.
ex-keeper.
Dino.
Could that be
Anybody
why
remember
they
Dickie Henderson?
named two substitute goalkeepers, didn't they, on Sunday? I wonder if that's why. I said England named two substitute
Ah,
goalkeepers.
Yes.
did they? That's interesting.
Why was
I
that, Paul?
wondered-
Do you think?
Well, Dave just said that Dean Henderson has just withdrawn with a
Oh,
hip
right.
injury. So I wonder if they had doubt about him.
Hang on. Isn't every player a potential substitute?
No, apparently not.
No.
There were two, Ben Chilwell and is it Jordan Sancho? They weren't
That's
eligible.
right, yeah.
Three.
I think you
There
can
was
have
a-
up to 20,
Harry Maguire was
23
third.
players involved, can't you? You were saying
Right.
tonight.
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah, so
Yeah, you can have a squad of 26, but only
Yeah.
23 involved in any one game.
right.
That's right,
Okay.
Ron.
I'm just a bit worried that Scotland might play them all against us.
It'd still lose.
At least two.
Yeah.
Just
Mel
keep
Gibson
shooting
centre
from
forward.
50 yards.
Yeah, they're going to put one goalkeeper on the line and one just outside the area.
Somebody said something about Witch Henderson just now, and there's a lovely story in Colin Schindler's book about Manchester City when he was at university, and somebody burst into his room and said they've murdered Bobby Kennedy, and Colin Schindler said, "Well, why have they murdered? Why have they murdered Bobby Kennedy, our left back?" And this wasn't the politician; it was the football, or rather the other way around. Yeah.
Right. So let's get proceedings underway. I'll start with a few apologies.
Yeah, first one is don't eat when you're talking to us.
I know. Sorry.
Did your mum
Right.
teach you anything, Keith?
Hang on.
You've just done a test match special. Harry McGrenville.
Right. Peter's got to take his dog to the vets. Chris has got to go somewhere and I forgot where, but he's got to go.
He's in Scarborough. Chris is in Scarborough,
Oh, yeah,
watching the
yeah.
grass grow.
And Doug has come out of hospital yesterday, but he don't feel up to coming on today, but he hopes to be back next week with us. He had to have an operation, valve not working properly in either into or out of his pancreas. So they put a stent in. So but at least he's back home. So,
Good.
that's as much as I can say at the moment. So over to you, John.
Yeah, update. A few of us got together in the cafe by Crystal Peaks Library last Wednesday. Paul the Biscuit made a guest appearance, coming all the way from Drumfield. Mick the Bulgarian Quiz was there. Old John was there.
And his
Richard and myself. Yeah. And we had a good little bit of banter. We're going to try it again next week, probably next Wednesday, and maybe a few more of you will come. If it's a sunny day, most of the people are outside having the coffee and what have you. So there was plenty of space for us inside. So we'll see what it's like next week.
What time are we looking at there, John?
Pardon?
What time are we looking at there?
About 10:30.
Okay.
About 10:30 till midday.
Okay.
It was interesting. It was good to see one or two faces again. Yeah. No biscuits for Paul. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to see Barry again on Thursday, Keith, to pick up the jumper that I left when we went to see him last time. So, yeah, so I don't know if you're available, but I'll be going to see him. I'm going to see Jack, the Steelers fan. Remember John's carer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking his umbrella back that he left when we had a drink with John a few weeks ago as well. That's about it, really.
Okay.
Is
John,
news on Eddie and Eric?
Not round.
Pardon?
So I was just
Big
saying,
Paul. Big Paul. He's gone away today.
Okay.
So he left me a note from his mum. So we accepted it. Okay.
Any news on Eddie and Eric?
Yeah, Eric is still very much down. He's following the death of his younger brother. I spoke to him yesterday, and his daughter had just arrived. Going to take him up to Arbourthorne to see his sister. So he's still not in the mood for company or for getting out and about. But there's a bright spark there at the bottom of it all, and it just needs nurturing over the next few weeks. It's difficult. He's been through a rough time. Still going through a rough time.
Yeah.
Eddie is just totally fed up being locked in the residential home he's been in for 15 months without being able to get beyond the front porch. It's horrible. Yeah, it shouldn't happen. I've asked his son's permission to see him again next week, but it just beats me the way they're being treated in the residential homes. They're getting no freedom whatsoever, despite the double vaccinations and what have you. He just can't come out, and there's got to be something wrong with that.
Yeah.
That sounds like a very
the physical health might be looked after, but the mental health is deteriorating.
Yeah.
That sounds like a very local arrangement, John. That's not the
Yes,
case
I think
here.
so, Ian.
They're allowing, I call them inmates.
Yeah.
They're allowing them
Yeah.
out. They've just got to be careful when they come back in. In fact,
Exactly.
There's word going around as they barricade the doors to stop them getting back in.
Yeah. I've queried their arrangements and they've shown them me, and I've said, yeah, but these are local interpretations and national. Anyway, I'm pushing it, so we'll see.
It's not like it used to be at Wednesday's ground a few years ago, is it? When Middlewood Mental Health Institution used to let 50 of their people go to the football match every Saturday. And they took
250 people went back.
Yeah, they took the first 50 back.
It's all right. It's all right. I know you've got learning difficulties, Keith, so I put up with a lot. Yeah.
John, I've got a clip. Sorry, John. Keith, I meant.
Yeah.
I've got a clip for you. I found
I've got a clip for him and all.
I'm a bit of a Facebook voyeur, and I found a clip of Sheffield United game where one chap had already been sent off, 2 subs were sent off. Oh, the goalkeeper had been sent off, and 2 subs were sent on.
West Brom.
A dangerous tackle because he had a bit of a thing with one of the opposition from a previous game. He tackled him badly, so he got sent off, and then a third guy got sent off. So United were down to, I think, 8 players inside 15 minutes. I can't remember the game, of course. Sorry. I'll send you the clip.
Yeah, it's infamous.
Yeah. Gary Megson against Neil Warnock. Yeah.
Yeah, the game had to be abandoned.
Sorry if
The game had to be abandoned because we went down to less than 7 players in the end.
Was the game awarded to West Brom 3-0?
Yeah.
3-0, yeah, they were winning 3-0 at the time.
Yeah.
Can't be that many years ago.
No, it's not.
No.
2005-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, around about that.
We're playing them again this season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Play 11 aside this time.
So just while I think on John, as it stands at the moment, I'll not be able to make it on Thursday because I'm doing some painting at our halls. So unless that if it
What, landscape, portrait?
depends.
Oils.
Adolf Hitler were a painter. You remind me of him. Apart from the fact that you've got no hair and no moustache, you're identical.
He's a footballer.
You're a lot bigger than him.
Yeah.
It's the swastika and thigh length boots that he wears. That's what it is, John.
Don't tell everybody.
John, why aren't you wearing your Royal Ascot outfit? I thought you'd be wearing a hat and a skirt or whatever.
What are you on about?
Royal Ascot today.
Yeah, but I've not been invited. That's why I've got face on.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
you'd be in your...
I was asked to pull the coach.
Right. Let's move on before and get Lol's news of the week.
News of the week. Lol.
News of the week.
News of the week. Lol. News of the week.
All right. Well, I'm down in the dumps this morning and I'm very emotional.
You're very emotional.
No, yesterday we had to have our dog put down.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Terrible.
I'll tell you a little bit about her. She was rescued by us 9 years ago, June the 12th, from RSPCA in Rotherham. She was taken from its previous owner who for 4 or 5 years had kicked, hit, starved the dog. It took us several weeks, but again, trusting us that we weren't going to hit her, which we never did. Sunday night, she was being ailing for the last few weeks. I think John's seen her anyway on the field.
Yeah, I have.
Beautiful. And she's been failing. And Sunday night, she took a turn. So we had to phone up the vet yesterday. Bring her in this afternoon, 3 o'clock. That was it. That's the worst thing I've had to do.
Yeah, how old
We
was
cried
she?
all day. She was about 14. We don't know the real age. We had her for 9 years, bang on. And the vet knew the previous history. And she said, you've given her 9 good years of life.
Oh, well done. Well done.
And with the present COVID restrictions, you can't go in the vets. So she came out to the car. Our dog was laid on the back seat on my wife's knee. When she talked to us for about half an hour, then she sedated the dog. I was in the front seat and she was looking at me bright-eyed. And slowly, those eyes shut for the last time. And that was it. Then she took her in to give her the final injection. And like I said, I hope I can get through today because normally she sat very near me, watching me. She's not there today. So
if it's any
if I sound a bit, I'm hoping I hope to compose myself and get through it.
Don't worry.
Time not as much today.
Don't worry.
It was the cross between, well, she got a multi-purpose dog. She got Alsatian in her, Border Collie, and a lot of people, they got an Alsatian colouring and they thought she was an Alsatian German Shepherd puppy. But she's lost a friend. I've lost a good friend. Anyway,
Yeah, sorry.
my
Lol.
wife said, phone Keith up, tell him you're not doing the news. I said, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get through it. And I'm going to compose myself. So it won't be as long as normal, but it's some. I'll try. Okay. I'll keep wiping my eyes.
Go for it.
The first one is skateboarding.
Okay.
The British skateboarders, Sky Brown and Bombette Martin, have both qualified for the Tokyo Olympics. 12-year-old Brown hopes to become Britain's youngest ever Olympian, but must wait for the final selection process to find out whether she will make history. Brown and British champion 14-year-old Martin are among 20 qualifiers for the women's park event, based on world rankings at the end of the qualification period. No Great British men are expected in the inaugural Olympic competitions in Tokyo.
How old was Brian
No, we don't-
Phelps when he was in? Sorry, Lol. Sorry, but how old was Brian Phelps when he was in the Rome Olympics? He was a
He was only in his
teenager.
teens, early teens, wasn't he?
Yeah, very early.
Yep. Now we're going to cricket, a little bit on cricket. The fast bowler, James Anderson, became England's most capped player after being selected to play in the series decider against New Zealand. The 38-year-old won his 162nd cap at Edgbaston, surpassing former captain Alistair Cook. Lancashire's Anderson made his Test debut back in 2003 and has taken 616 wickets, an England record. I can't believe I have got this far. It's been an amazing journey, Anderson told the BBC Sport. I'm going to the Test match. After another batting collapse in their second innings, England's dismal defeat in the second Test was confirmed inside an hour on the fourth morning at Edgbaston, give New Zealand a 1-0 series win. Losing their last wicket to the first ball of the day meant New Zealand only needed 38 runs to win, which they did inside 11 overs to win by 8 wickets. This was England's first defeat on home soil in a Test series since 2014, when Sri Lanka also won a 2-match series 1-0. And it was also New Zealand's first success in England in 22 years. Also, regarding Joe Root, it's the first time in his career he has gone 5 tests, which outscoring at 50. Now a little bit on tennis, the French Open. Now Novak Djokovic ended Rafael Nadal's reign at the French Open with a 4-set win in a classic semi-final, which will be ranked among the all-time great matches on the Roland Garros clay. Serbian top seed Djokovic won 3-1 against Nadal, who has been champion for the last 4 years. Nadal, going for a record-extending 14th title, lost at Roland Garros for only the 3rd time in 108 matches. So good was the match that the 5,000 fans present were given special permission by the government to stay and watch it to the end, instead of having to leave early due to the 11 o'clock curfew in Paris. In the other semi-final, Stefanos Tsitsipas became the first Greek player to reach a Grand Slam final when he defeated Alexander Zverev 3-2 in another tense match. His previous 3 Grand Slam semi-finals all ended in defeat for Tsitsipas, who missed 4 match points before serving out to win the match and reach the final. Now going on to the final, Djokovic won his 19th Grand Slam title after fighting back from 2 sets down to beat Tsitsipas. He was in deep trouble before rediscovering his energy to win, his greater experience shining through as 5th seed Tsitsipas wilted in his first Grand Slam final. The victory moves Djokovic 1 major title behind the men's record held jointly by Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. And it's only the 2nd time a woman has umpired the final. The first time was back in 2007.
Can I just interrupt you there, Lol? Djokovic used in my opinion, he used a tactic he's used before. When he was going 2 sets to love down, he made it look like he was done in.
Yeah.
He usually makes himself look injured as well.
Yeah. And he's done it before and come
The
back.
opponent eases off him.
Yeah.
Les Kellett, the wrestler, perfected that technique.
It was funny though.
Staggering round the ring backwards.
Funny.
Yeah.
I loved him. He was the best of the lot.
What you mean when he used to go up on his tiptoes and then do a fall?
He would roll around as if he was next to death almost, and then he'd suddenly get angry and he'd pull his face down like that. Right, I'm going to get the, you know, sort of thing that he'd start. It's just pure pantomime, wasn't it?
That was an amazing impression, Ian.
Yeah, I think we're related.
Go on then, Lol. Sorry to interrupt.
It's all right. It's all right. Gives me time to compose myself. Golf. Now, Rory McIlroy will return to compete at the Irish Open at Mount Juliet in July after not taking part in it for the last 2 years. A limited number of spectators will be allowed in to watch the tournament, which was hosted by McIlroy from 2015 to 18 and won by the Irishman at the K Club in 2016. I am really excited to get back and play the Irish Open, said McIlroy. Now, a little bit on rugby union. The Premiership leaders, Bristol Bears, the final game against 9th in the table London Irish on Saturday was cancelled because of a large number of COVID-19 cases within the Exiles camp, as well as those returning and positive tests. A significant number of the playing squad were ruled out through the contact tracing process. Under Premiership rugby regulations, the match is cancelled and a panel will meet to decide the allocation of the points.
Lol.
Hello.
Lol. Are you having trouble with your auto cue?
Might be crying. Why? What's up?
No, you're stumbling more than you normally do.
Give him a chance.
Yeah.
No, I'm
There
not,
might be a
I
reason
don't
for
know I'm
that,
getting
Keith.
through this case. I don't know I'm getting through it.
I
Might be a
know,
reason
I know,
for that.
I know. All
Wonk.
right.
We're with you,
That's
Lol,
my
all the way, mate.
Now, Josh Kerr has his eye on an Olympic medal after beating the best ever 1500 meters time run in the United States, which was set by Seb Coe 37 years ago. The 23-year-old Scots winning time in Portland is the second fastest in the world this year. Coe set his goal-winning mark at the 1984 Olympics, and Kerr's next task is to qualify for the 2020 Games in Japan. A bit on hockey. England lost 3-2 to Belgium in the battle for the bronze medal at the Men's Euro Hockey Championship in Amsterdam. Tom Boone put the Belgians ahead through a penalty stroke before Sam Ward levelled it up just after the break. Belgian captain Thomas Bryles restored their lead on 41 minutes before Boone got his second 11 minutes later to extend his side's advantage. Ward pulled the goal back, but Belgium looked comfortable as they controlled the game and never looked like losing. A little bit on cycling.
Hang on, Lol.
So,
Out of interest, has anybody played hockey at all?
Yeah.
Yes, I was the school captain.
Really?
For 2 years, I was a school captain. Yeah.
I was a
Very
goalie
good.
because I could kick anything.
I was a goalie, Ian.
Well,
For the
they
same
put me in
reason.
goal because I was useless at anything else.
Exactly.
Well, we used to go to a youth club, and one day one of the youth leaders come to a few of those lads and said, "How do you fancy playing hockey?" And we all just looked at him as if he'd spoken a foreign language. And then he said, "It's mixed teams." So we went, "Oh yeah, all right then, we'll give it a go." And we had a couple of practices. The girls showed us how to do it.
I'm the bottle green knickers.
And,
So I thought you
So
talked
when-
about hockey, Keith.
yeah, so when we turned up on the day, he'd organised a coach to take us to wherever we were going.
17-seater.
17 seats, yeah. And as we were going, he says, "Oh, by the way," he says, "I forgot to tell you, it's not a friendly that you're playing in a tournament." And we all went, "Oh," and there was literally, I think the girls had played and there was only one one of the lads had played before. So we thought, well, we're just going to get wiped out here. Anyway, we went to it and we won it. Our girls were much better than the other girls. So we all celebrated by jumping in the bath together.
It's the most dangerous game I've ever played. Okay.
But also
the ball, the stick.
Also, one
Dangerous
of the
game.
most skillful, John. Some of the guys at school, the guy who put the Wests away from Henry Globe, he's a QC now. He had this dexterity. He could switch the stick back and forth, you know, to dribble, you know. And there's another lad called Dave Chestnut. Absolutely, awesome, really was. Whereas I'm in goal, anything that moved, kick it.
Yeah.
The worst injury I ever saw was at a hockey match. I went to watch one of our girls play in a cup final. She wasn't involved in the injury, but one of the girls went for the ball and one of the opposition players swung the stick round, hit her full in the mouth.
Oh.
All her teeth came out, every one of them. They called an ambulance. In the ambulance, they put all her teeth back individually.
What?
Yeah.
Successfully?
Yes.
In the
But when
right
they got
order.
to the hospital, they found that they'd put them back not in the right place, so they had to take them all out.
Back to front.
To make it even worse, the girl who was hit by her own PE teacher who was playing on the opposition team.
Oh.
It was, you know, and they were sort of good friends, you know, and the teacher hit the girl in the mouth. It was absolutely awful. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Paul, my elder sisters used to play lacrosse, and you think they'd been playing rugby. They come back with bruises, you know, eyes, ears, mouth.
Yeah, shocking day, really awful.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Lol.
Sorry, Lol. Sorry.
Okay, carry on.
That's what it's all about, stimulating conversation.
Dave Tipper. You're muted, Dave. You need to unmute. Dave, you need to unmute yourself.
Press the space bar.
He won't hear you, Keith, either. He won't hear you.
Can. Dave.
How's that?
Yes, that's it.
It was a question to John, actually, because he was saying it was the most dangerous sport that he'd ever played.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've got him playing football on Woodthorpe.
Well, that's a fair point, actually. That's saying so much about hockey that it is more dangerous than playing Woodthorpe against Wyburn. And that is a tough game. Yeah.
I think what he meant, Dave, it was the most dangerous sport he's played in a skirt.
Exactly. Yeah. And a long golden wig.
You know, I've got one better than that, Jonathan. It was Aberthorne against Springwood in a semi-final. That was much.
My mother used to sing in the Springwood during the war.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when it was a proper pub, not a dump. Yeah.
It's a pity they can't make their mind up what to do with it now.
Pardon?
It's a pity
It's
they
been
can't make
closed for a
their
long
mind
time,
up
hasn't
to
it,
do with it
Dave?
now.
Yeah.
Did they
Okay,
need
thank you,
sirens
Steve.
in your area during the war then, John?
Happy days. Yes, sirens. Yeah. My mother was a siren.
She gave the all clear.
Okay, Lol.
Okay.
Sorry.
Carry on. A little bit on cycling. Now, Sarah Story took her tally of world titles to 40 with gold in the C5 road race at the Para Cycling Road World Championships in Estoril, Portugal.
Been there.
40-year-old Brit who has won world titles as both a cyclist and a swimmer said it's never something you can take for granted. Victory in the road race followed by gold in Thursday's time trial for the 14-time Paralympic champion who was defending her C5 time trial title. Now, a little bit on horse racing. Now, Frankie Dettori rode Snowfall through the rain to win the Oaks at Epsom, his 6th victory in the race. The Aidan O'Brien trained horse won by a record 16 lengths, breaking the previous record of 12 lengths set by Sun Princess in 1983. Mystery Angel finished second, with the winner's stablemate Divinely coming in third. A little bit on football, not really too much because come on, what was saying, Keith?
I saw that race, and it was if somebody had put something up his jacksie, but that horse just lengthened its stride. Suddenly, it was galloping along like all the rest. Then suddenly its stride was about twice as long as any other. And he just careered off. Sorry, Dave.
All right. Just one or two little bits on football. Now, Euro 2020 opened in spectacular fashion last Friday as Italy got their campaign off to an impressive start as they beat Turkey 3-0 in front of their own fans. The game being played at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome. Finland beat Denmark 1-0 at the delayed match, which was overshadowed by Danish midfielder Christian Eriksen collapsing on the pitch with a suspected cardiac arrest. The 29-year-old collapsed shortly before half-time and received CPR on the pitch before he was taken to hospital in Copenhagen. Play was then suspended for 2 hours before being restarted when it was known Eriksen was awake and sitting up in hospital. His condition is stable and he continues to be hospitalized for further examinations and tests after it was confirmed he had a cardiac arrest on the pitch.
You think they should have continued it?
Just out of interest, let's take a straw poll. Who thinks that they should have continued that game? Just 1, 2. Who thinks they shouldn't have continued that game? So
I'm not
It's
really
what
sure
hap-
about it.
It's what would have happened had they not continued the game in a tournament which is completely hemmed in. So I do sympathise with the organisers. They couldn't win whatever they did.
True. Grossly unfair on the Danish team as well.
Yes, it was.
I think the Danish management should have sort of dug their heels in a bit. I think they were too accommodating. I think they were in shock. That was the problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unprecedented, but I just think if it had been our team, they wouldn't have been in the right frame of mind to play. So it's
your team wouldn't have been in the finals.
It's similar in a way, although in another way entirely different. When Liverpool and Juventus in the Euro final with all the trouble, and then they had to restart. Liverpool were down, and Juventus had the upper hand. Also similar for Forest against Liverpool after the Hillsborough disaster. Forest had got no chance.
Yeah.
No.
Great.
Right. It's less than a minute, so let's wrap it in for now, and we'll continue with LOL after the break.
Thank you, Lol. Well done, mate.
Thanks, Lol.
Well done.